Hey everyone, welcome back. This is my day 6, believe it or not, of the. I'm finally getting towards the end of the Gratitude Challenge 2021, hosted by Jen from Science to Soul, Tarot and Transformation. And this has been a very transformational exercise for me. I'm so very grateful. Thank you again, Jen. I just realised I just said I'm so very grateful, and this is a gratitude challenge. That was just purely organic, I swear to you. But it really has opened my eyes in so many ways, and I've said it before in my earlier releases, the earlier days of this exercise, that it's just incredible how the cards tell you more than one thing. They are covering such a lot of ground for me personally, the way they are coming up. Every card seems to pertain very closely to what I'm experiencing or what I feel I need at this time. So there's that truth, which is, well, that's what the cards are for, right? And then I love the fact that, the added layer to this exercise is to think about gratitude and how this card pertains to your gratitude practices, etc., or where it takes you in your memories of an experience with gratitude in this card. And I have to say, with the Knight of Wands, this card is dear to my heart in that I feel, especially when I was younger, very, very closely connected to this card. I feel like I have been the Knight of Wands for in so many different circumstances, and for many years running. Speaking of running, nights are all about movement and change and transition. There can be often restlessness associated, especially with the wands being fire. And, that's just me. Even when you look at this dear little, this is the Spirit Speak Tarot, and this dear little guidebook, I relate to every single thing it says in here. The Knight of Wands is a free spirit, check. A visionary, well, that'd be nice. A journey, a movement of houses or home. Well, that's the story of my life because I have moved a lot and I love moving. I love moving to different areas, and right now I've been craving a move. Oh my goodness. I've just done so much work on my home over the last 8 years. But I would love to move just because I would love to be somewhere different. It's exciting. And then a person who is passionate about learning. So tick, 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 tick. Yeah. So there is definitely, there's a close connection to this card, but also it's almost like, because January has been a tough month for me personally, and I have felt very, very weighed down and restricted and burdened and really very anxious. And it's not something I normally feel. Like, I have felt almost like I was having panic attacks this month, which is very unpleasant. My heart goes out to anyone who has had to deal with panic attacks. It is not something that I normally experience. It just seems to have come out of the blue, but I think I've just been feeling very, very overwhelmed with everything that happened at once. It was speaking of the Knight of Wands, there was like a snowballing effect for me. And things did not slow down as they normally do. So that little pocket between, I said in a recent video, I love that little quiet time between Christmas and New Year. That's when I get to rejuvenate and regenerate, take some time out, and that did not happen this year, nor did it happen last year. So it's the second year in a row. Really very, very unusual for me. My work just did not stop, and to the point where it was actually, it's supposed to be it's a monthly commitment for this property management job. It's more or less been full bore, full steam ahead, 7 days a week. Just everything seemed to snowball. So I needed to be, it was required of me to giddy up like the Knight of Wands, but I also, I believe, felt the desire to giddy up in another direction. Just leave the messy energy behind, because I am not the multitasker I once was. Um, I was like an octopus in years gone by when I worked in the production and music industry. And I was very good at multitasking, but it took a toll on my nervous system. And I ended up very reluctantly resigning from my job that I loved so much. And I miss that music library to this day. But my body began to fatigue and really became very unwell. So I took a very sharp right hand turn. And so once again, that was that Knight of Wands, but just getting off this trail and quickly galloping towards a different way of life, a different way of living. And that's when I started studying energy healing, etc., etc. So I just feel like this card fits into my life in many ways and on many occasions in the past. And that is why many of them were very, very positive, by the way. But that is why I say that this is, it's very close to my heart. So when it comes to gratitude, I think I have much to be grateful for this card. The adventure that is associated with the Knight of Wands. And I said it before, I love change. And I'm not one to enjoy being boxed in. It's funny, I'm a Scorpio, but I'm very Sagittarian by nature in many ways. And I have Mars in Sagittarius, so that's probably the springboard. But I love action and I love experiencing something new. I must learn something all the time. That whole idea of being secure in your job and there you go, you'll be right for the next 30 years. You know, that's that sends shivers down my spine. No, thank you. So I am a risk taker by nature, and I think the Knight of Wands is also. I gave up a very solid career in radio to move to London just to see what happened. And it was, one of the most amazing decisions of my life. And I feel that that was fueled by the Knight of Wands, or the Knight of Wands as an energy played a very big part in that decision. And not only the decision to move to the other side of the world, but to carry it through. It's all very well to sit there with these great ideals, but often we can just remain in our office chair thinking about all these amazing things we could do, but never get around to doing it. And the Knight of Wands is the guy that says, well, come on, life's an adventure. There's that wonderful exuberance and youthfulness that comes with the Knight of Wands, who, as I said, is not afraid to take a risk. The Knight of Wands puts energy into those new directions and also puts energy into your self-growth. And you know me by now, I'm always banging on about self-growth, spiritual path of awakening, because it is my number one priority in this life, to open up to the person I truly am. And that takes many decades, I think, if you're doing it earnestly. But just that creative energy and the high priority surrounding growth and development, enthusiasm, new horizons, and getting yourself there, I appreciate so very much. So I think in a nutshell, that is what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for that little Knight of Wands within me. I'm grateful for all the opportunities that I have had, whether I created them myself or they just seem to be handed to me. In years gone by, many, many wonderful opportunities were seemingly handed to me on a silver platter, as the saying goes. And thanks to the Knight of Wands, I ran with it. And I will never regret those changes, those risks, those chances I took. And I feel that I need to do that. I feel, having moved back to my hometown and doing up my home and all that has been wonderful, but it has also been a little bit I was about to say Four of Pence in a sense, and remember the Four of Pence isn't only about clinging on. Like, there's some really good elements to the Four of Pence. That consolidation I really appreciate, but I just feel it became a little bit too earthy for me. I love home. I'm very much a home bod. However, I am a gypsy. So, one of my mantras is wherever I lay my hat, the saying. So wherever I go, I will make my home a pleasing environment. So I don't have to be in this home. And I've been feeling rather restless for the past 12 months. And that's why COVID was such a bitch because, well, I shouldn't say the restrictions associated with COVID, to be mature about it. But I felt that for my own personal growth, the courses that I mentioned in previous videos that I was going to attend, one in Bali, one in India, were absolutely perfect for me in every way, including timing. And of course, we are all dealing with these restrictions. It's not just me. But I'm just saying, I feel that the Knight of Wands coming up again is to remind me that despite those restrictions, you really need to focus on where you need to head. You know, if sitting here isn't working for you, it's time to look at some options, create a new path for yourself. And the Knight of Wands will give me the fuel to do so. And for that, I am truly grateful. I mean, they're always on the go, aren't they? Generally speaking, aside from the Pence, who has a pause, the Knight of Pentacles, but there's a reason for that. But he still reminds you that the journey isn't over yet. You may stop and take stock, but you've got to push through it. You've got to keep going. So at the end of the day, all nights to me are about movement. But the Knight of Wands especially, physical movement, doing something creative, not just thinking about it. So my gratitude runs far and wide with this card. And I'm grateful for the reminder, because this month being as challenging as it has been, I needed that kick from the Knight of Wands, I believe. So yeah, I'm very, very, very grateful. Okay, it's time to choose day 7. Finally, it's taken me 3 weeks to get through a week. But I was determined to see it through. So for day 7, I think I might go bright and fruity. So I decided to choose the Muse, the beautiful Muse Tarot. So I'll have a little shuffle, spread out the cards as I always do, and let's see what comes up. Day 7. Okay, let me just move this. Day 7 for the Gratitude Challenge. What card needs to come forward? What do I need to focus on? Okay. Here it is. The 9 of Cups. In this case, the 9 of Emotions. Okay, I look forward to seeing you for day 7. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Take care. See you soon.